again. It's Miss Shu, and today I'm going to be explaining the very, very basics of the human brain using a hand model that was developed by Dr. Dan Siegel, who's a clinical professor from UCLA's School of Medicine and the author of many books, including Brainstorm, The Power and Purpose of the Adolescent Brain, which I highly recommend, 10 out of 10. It's good for you all to read. It's because you'll understand your own brain better. It's also really good for your parents to read to understand you better. For the beginning, we're going to hear about the hand model of the brain from a Dr. Russ Harris, whose visuals are better than I could make myself. We're going to hear from him first, and then I'm going to jump on in and explain the rest of it.
The wrist, the forearm coming up to here, is like your spinal cord. And right here at the end of the wrist is like the base of your skull. And here, the bottom of your palm, this is like the reptile brain, the life support system of the brain. So, you know, if the rest of your brain is wiped out through, say, for example, a stroke or a car accident, this life support part of your brain, the reptile brain, can still keep your body alive, can still keep all your organs functioning and your breath and your heart and so forth. And this is where a lot of autonomic nervous system operates. Now, above the reptile brain is the mammalian brain, often called the limbic brain or the emotional brain. So reptiles, they've got the fight or flight response, or they've got the freeze, shut down, flop and drop response.
So he talks about the reptile brain, but we have more parts of our brain as mammals and then as humans. So the reptiles, they have reactions when they're in danger, and we have this added part of our brain, which is the limbic system, which allows us to have complex emotions, as well as this part of our brain, which is called the amygdala, is like the radar for us. It tells us whether we feel safe or not. So if we get a message in our bodies from the amygdala saying we are unsafe, then all of a sudden our body is doing this stuff. We get huge influxes of adrenaline. Our heart beats faster. Our lungs start working better. We can see a lot better. We're super alert. We can hear better. We are ready for fight, flight, or freeze. Our brain, the amygdala, has told us we're unsafe. And that unsafeness could have come from something from the environment, our own really big emotions, our own thoughts. And then our body is doing all of this reaction to prepare us to take care of this lack of safety. Now, here's something I want you to understand. When your body is doing this, there's nothing wrong with you. That's what your body and your brain have worked together to do to make you feel safe. In the past, either your brain and body have learned it from your ancestors or you've learned it from your own experiences. So when you have those big reactions, don't judge yourself. What we do know, though, is that here's our reptile brain, here's our mammalian brain where our complex emotions are, and our amygdala who gives us the hello, we're unsafe. If this is where you're stuck and your body is doing all of those things it does when it's overwhelmed or super stressed or triggered, we don't have access to the last part of the brain. And this is the last part of the brain. Imagine your thumb is tucked in and your fingers are pushed over it. And this is your neocortex. It's where all of your learning is, all the mapping of all the concepts you've ever done, all the emotions you've ever had, all the movies you've ever watched. It's all in there. And here's the thing, if you're stuck here, you have no access to this. And this is the part that I really want to focus on, right here in the front, right here in the front. That is your prefrontal cortex. That is where we can make good decisions and plan things. So if you're stuck here, all jacked up on adrenaline and stuff, you have no access to your decision-making, planning brain. So that's the basics of the brain. Brainstem, reptile brain, mammalian brain, neocortex, prefrontal cortex. We want to talk about how we can get out of being stuck in our mammalian brain, in our limbic system, in our feeling brain. Next week, we'd love to hear from you, teachers and students who have strategies to help us get from being stuck in our feeling brain, so calm down so we can go ahead and access our thinking brain and our decision-making capabilities. So, just like last week when I asked for, can you help with these videos? Do you have something that you want to offer to the video production team? I also want to, if you've got a strategy that really works for you, that when you're really overwhelmed or stressed, you can get right back to calm, not quickly necessarily, but it works for you, I would love for you to share a quick snippet or email me at tshumikowski@nusd.org, or come see me in room 3001, and you can tell me about your strategy. I can take a quick video and we'll edit those together, and next week we'll have lots and lots of information about strategies. With that, be excellent to each other, stay classy, and stay connected, Novato.